T-minus 50 seconds. The first umbilical tower now retracting. The second umbilical retracting, initiating engine sequence start. We have engine sequence start. Engines coming up to full throttle. And liftoff. Liftoff of the 85th Progress resupply mission to the International Space Station. Tower is clear. All engines at full thrust. The Soyuz arcing out to the northeast from the Central Asian desert. All first stage engines operating normally according to the reports from the blockhouse at Baikonur. Structural parameters are normal. The vehicle is stable in the early stages of its flight. Coming up on the 1 minute mark into the flight. Engine thrust is normal. Good performance so far from the first stage. Roll, pitch, and yaw, all the parameters reported to be normal from the blockhouse. 1 minute, 20 seconds into the flight.
Параметры системы управления ракетой-носителя в норме.
About 28 seconds until first stage shutdown and separation.
Двигатели первой и второй ступени работают нормально.
Good first stage performance. Good structural rigidity and parameters from the blockhouse in Baikonur.
110.
All good reports coming back from Baikonur as we stand by for first stage separation.
120.
Third stage separation confirmed. 2 minutes, 12 seconds into the flight. The second stage engines are now carrying the Progress further and further towards its preliminary orbit. 6.5 minutes of powered flight remaining. Structural parameters all reported to be normal on second stage performance. Liftoff occurring on time at 8:08 and 10 seconds p.m. Central Time.
160. Параметры системы управления ракетой-носителя в норме.
Good control of the vehicle, good structural parameters, good engine performance all reported. The vehicle is very stable in flight according to the blockhouse. We have passed the 3 minute mark into the flight. About 90 seconds away from second stage shutdown. We've had the jettisoning of the launch shroud over the Progress vehicle. Coming up on the 3.5 minute mark into the flight. Everything is going by the book.
210. Параметры системы управления ракетой-носителя в норме.
All structural parameters and engine performance reported to be normal.
Время КП. 6 часов, 8 минут, 10 секунд, 412 миллисекунд.
Approaching the 4 minute mark into the flight.
Изделие устойчивое.
And the view now from a camera on the upper stage of the Soyuz 2.1A booster.
Двигатель второй ступени работает нормально.
Second stage performance is normal.
250.
About 20 seconds or so away from second stage shutdown and separation.
260. Параметры конструкции ракеты и носителя в норме. 270. Параметры системы управления ракеты и носителя в норме.
4 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight. We're standing by for second stage shutdown and separation.
Прошел гарантийный наддув бака окислителя третьей ступени. 290. Есть запуск двигателя третьей ступени. Есть выключение двигателя второй ступени. Есть отделение второй ступени. 300. Есть сброс панели хвостового отсека.
There's the skirt jettisoning of the third stage.
310. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
Third stage engine up and running.
320.
Coming up on the 5.5 minute mark into the flight.
Носителя в норме.
We have about 3.5 minutes of powered flight remaining.
330. Двигатель третьей ступени работает нормально.
The third stage engine performing as advertised. Good stability on the spacecraft, the Soyuz 2.1A booster in the final phase of its launch to send the Progress 85 into its preliminary orbit.
Нормальный.
6 minutes into the flight. All reports coming back from Baikonur report good performance by the Soyuz.
370. Параметры конструкции ракеты и носителя в норме. 380. Двигатель третьей ступени работает нормально.
6.5 minutes into the flight, about 2.5 minutes to go in powered flight. The third stage engine continues to perform in a normal fashion.
400. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
The vehicle remains very stable on a pinpoint path to its preliminary orbit.
Нормальный.
7 minutes into the flight, about 1 minute and 46 seconds remaining of powered flight.
В норме. 430. Двигатель третьей ступени работает нормально.
The third stage engine continues to do its job as we approach the 7.5 minute mark into the flight.
450. Полет нормальный.
7 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight, just over 1 minute of powered flight remaining.
Конструкции ракеты и носителя в норме. 470. Двигатель третьей ступени работает нормально.
We've now passed the 8 minute mark into the flight, less than a minute of powered flight remaining.
480. Параметры системы управления в норме. 490. Стабилизация изделия устойчивая.
Coming up on the 8.5 minute mark into the flight, good stability on the vehicle. Just a few seconds away from third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation.
Вращение в норме. 520. Параметры системы управления.
Third stage separation confirmed. The Progress preliminary orbit orbit, standing by for the unfurling of the solar arrays, and there they go. And we now have confirmation that the solar arrays and the navigational antennas have all deployed as planned. A flawless climb to orbit for the Progress 85 cargo craft, now beginning its two-day chase to catch up to the International Space Station for a docking on Thursday evening. And the TV camera on the Progress has now been activated. You can see that familiar engineering cross-haired view. It was a perfect launch into a sunrise at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, with an 8-minute, 49-second ride to orbit on the Soyuz 2.1A booster, delivering the Progress 85 into its preliminary orbit to begin a two-day 34-orbit chase to arrive at the International Space Station Thursday night for an automated docking to the aft port of the Zvezda service module, docking scheduled at 10:50 p.m. Central Time, 11:50 p.m. Eastern Time, just 4 hours before the scheduled launch of the Crew 7 crew to the International Space Station from Launch Pad 39A at the Kennedy Space Center. The Progress was beginning a planned attitude maneuver, an orientation maneuver. And back here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, the flight controllers will work with their Russian counterparts at the Russian Mission Control Center over the next 2 days to monitor all of the systems on the Progress and its path to the International Space Station. So with that, that'll wrap up our launch coverage for this evening with one programming note. Thursday night, we'll be back on the air at 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the media channel only, with our rendezvous and docking coverage for Progress 85. That will clear the decks on the public channel for the start of Crew 7 launch coverage, with the suit-up of the Crew 7 crew from their crew quarters at the Kennedy Space Center. That coverage on the public channel will begin at 10:45 p.m. Central Time, 11:45 p.m. Eastern Time. So a double header for you on Thursday night into the wee hours of Friday morning. Our rendezvous and docking coverage for Progress 85 again on the media channel only, beginning Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you then. For now, this is Mission Control Houston.